Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing.
Oh, hey folks, dude here, coming out again. Another iteration of Dude After Dark. Looking at things and looking at things. Hopefully, it's now working accordingly. We found ourselves. Well, hopefully, things are working accordingly. Sound guy. He's in a mood. Okay, he's really in a mood.
Don't want to come. Do not come. Do not come. Don't come.
Not even 30 seconds, and already he's throwing around the, he's throwing around the ka-ka. Sound guy, stop throwing the... Sound guy. I warned you. I warned you. He's doing it again. Let me go back over here to looking over here on YouTube, and hopefully things are working accordingly. Yes, let me now pop over, and I'm now looking at things, and I'm now looking to see if we have, yes, we have the chat box up. Good stuff like that there. Okay, so now I'm now actually able to see when things put stuff into the chat room. Yes, there is a pop-up on the phone, and it does actually pop up, and there's like a little, text on the bottom, but it's bleeding confusing sometimes to go, oh, I'll just tap on this and tap on that. And next thing you know, it just goes, I'm like, what do you mean, It goes, And I get clicked off and things go wrong. So I literally have this mantra, mindset, call it what you will, that when I get this thing to start actually broadcasting, air quotes, broadcasting, and it's doing what it needs to do, it's not just going, sound guy. No, it's not going. No, it's sound guy. That's not what I was trying to come up with here. Okay?
You're in violation of the 3 laws.
My logic is undeniable.
No. We're not talking about Vicky, from iRobot. No, we're not talking about that at all. Literally, it's just a case of I hit the wrong bleeding button and it just goes splat. No dice. All right. Okay, keeping myself current. Literally what happens is I'll get a notice from Uber saying, hey, do you want this gig? And I'm like, yeah, I want the work. Give me the work. I'll take the work, okay? The other thing, too, is there's obviously other drivers going, oh, yeah, sure. Beep. And they get it. So I kind of have to be cognizant and keeping that one eye kind of peeled, looking at the phone. Maybe not at all times, but I have to be looking for the alerts when they come up. So let's see. Scrolling over here and looking at the secondary visual device because I'm still working through on this one, folks. Okay, trust me. Hopefully it doesn't take too terribly much longer. I haven't decided if I'm going to go with a completely new computer or if I'm simply just going to go with maybe a better, podcast-only device. I've been looking at computers as in what they refer to as an all-in-one. So literally it looks like just a fat monitor, okay? So it's literally like a fat monitor, and essentially what it is, it's a flat screen monitor that has a computer bolted up to the backside. The only downside is because you have it all-in-one, it is even more limited than your standard desktop computer, where you pretty much have, with a desktop computer, you can pop it open. You go, well, there's not enough of this. It needs more of that. This is bad. I want more of these. You have space to go, chunk, and, Lego block all these additional RAM cards in, or additional hard drives, or you can upgrade the power supply to really, really hot rod the thing. You can change the CPU, obviously add, a graphics card, so you really, really, really can pump the thing up and make it really crank. The thing about it is I'm not much of a gamer, okay? There's really, literally like 1 or 2 games I play on a computer, literally like the home computer, Now that it's not going on the internet, literally 1 or 2 games I'm now playing on the laptop, and it is a Windows 10 laptop, and I'm not going Windows 11. Microsoft and Bill Gates, you can, hang on a second here. I got this one, sound guy. Bill Gates, you can just, yeah, right here, buddy. Right here. Sound guy? How many nom-noms did you add into that? Well, anyway, so Bill Gates is happily enjoying. Dude, what are you doing down there? Okay, well, Sound Guy is enjoying his grapefruit, watermelon, whatever he's eating. Dude, it's a little gross here, okay? Come on. Sound Guy, seriously? Anyway, so I think he's done. I think it was a watermelon, but you do not want to look into the sound booth right now. Oh my, that's a mess. Okay, you're gonna have to clean that up in there. That's just disgusting. Anyway, so let me actually get into the news stories now that we've had, numerous minutes of Sound Guy doing Sound Guy stuff.
But I pooped from there.
He gets these, sound bites, and I really, truly have no idea why he's going to do what he does, okay?
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
It's Tuesday, okay? I do not have a case of the Mondays. Stop.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the...
I don't have a case of the rah either. Stop it. Stop. Okay, I don't know why we suddenly got cat related. Seriously? Stop. I got to live with this the whole time, we're actually doing anything. I got to live with this. You guys only have to deal with him 1 hour a week of that which time he's inserting himself with Sound Guy. Stop. Okay? Stop. You don't want to know what he was doing to make the cat make noises like that. Yipes. It wasn't just, here, kitty, kitty. It was, here, kitty, kitty. I stopped that. Yipes. Patron Fever in the room, appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Anybody else who wants to hang out, you can do so in the chat room, or you could just simply be a non-interactor, observer, call it what you will. Okay, can we please get on to the news, Sound Guy? Please? Oh, jeez. Would you please stop that, okay?
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the...
It's always got to get in that last little whatever. Pleased to report Patriot going ham route to annoy on ham airwaves. Oh, so you're going ham on ham. Okay, that's rather good. Let's see. Scrolly news stories. This was a meme I found that really, truly cracked me up. And was very simply put, but very apt. And it simply says, the same people screaming, "You can't change the name of the Gulf," are the same guys who renamed syrup, military bases, and football teams. Smoked bacon on ham. Okay. Well, you do know, Patriot Fever, what ham actually means in the urban vernacular, right? It means hard. You're going hard as a mother, father. Appropriate. Insert the appropriate Samuel L. Jackson phrase for mother, father. Anywho, scroll. This is something we saw nuances of, and it is absolutely happening now, and couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of people. I'll tell you that for dang sure. So, it has now come out, and it's this is kind of brutal, actually, but truly deserved. This is coming in from truthpress.com. CNN ratings decline. And it's a ratings disaster, mind you. So their primetime audience numbers have now tumbled below 500,000. So CNN's primetime ratings on Wednesday dipped below the 500,000 viewer mark, with less than 100,000 of those coming from that primary target market of 25 to 54-year-old demographics. Ouch. CNN's ratings dipped below 500,000 after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday evening during the show with Caitlin Collins. Who's Caitlin Collins? I don't even know this person. According to Adweek, Collins pulled 464,000 total viewers, while News Night with Abby Phillip at the 10 p.m. hour, followed with 459,000. Laura Coates Live finished off Primetime's 11 p.m. hour with CNN for 269,000. So the early bird actually had the big numbers on CNN? Yipes. Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper 360 was the only primetime CNN performance with over 500,000 viewers, pulling in 535,000. Golf clap. Such amazing numbers. Wow. That's just 500,000 is like a flea fart in a hurricane when you're really just sound guy.
Oh my.
Anyway, those numbers are just yeah, they're not good. Not good. Especially for somebody that's supposedly as popular as CNN. So all the network's primetime shows failed to break 100,000 viewers for the coveted. Oh wow. Primetime shows failed to break 100,000 viewers for the coveted 25 to 54 demographic. Cooper had the best showing with 93,000, then Phillip with 90,000, and Collins with 76,000. Then Coates ended the night with 46,000 viewers in the age group. The new numbers are a troubling sign for the network. CNN's full-scale collapse continues rapidly. It reaches a remarkable new low led by Caitlin Collins, or at Caitlin Collins, at Abby Phillips. Fewer than 500,000 viewers in total prime time. That's almost impossible to do, even if you wanted it, the independent journalist Glenn Greenwald noted. Also, they're well below 100K for viewers under 55. Yipes. The old guys might be watching it, but they probably don't stay up all that late like the young guys. Eesh. Best hour for CNN is still behind MSNBC's worst hour. Oh, wow. And far behind the worst hour on Fox News. The 11th hour with Stephanie Rule at 11 p.m. on MSNBC brought in 799,000 total viewers with 99,000, 25-54 demographic. Fox News and Fox News at Night with Tracy Gallagher brought in 1.5 million total viewers with 194,000 in the key demographic. Yeesh. So I guess more people watching Fox, even though it's so icky, yucky, nasty Republican. Blech. Wow. CNN struggled with ratings for years. 1 week in November saw an average network mark, lowest rated week since June 2001, bringing in an average of 269,000 viewers. During the same week, Fox News averaged 1.4 million viewers. Yipes. Yipes. There's more continuation of the theme here, but CNN is going down. It's just they're going down big time. Not doing good at all. Just not good. The Democrat, quote, "bring back the bad guys and bring them back" campaign. Campaign is really not looking, very, very good for them. In fact, it's looking really, really bad. CBS News polls spells disaster for Democrats over the Kilmore Abrego Garcia thing. Yeesh. With President Trump making the deportation of illegal immigrants priority day one, Democrats have been relentless in trying to undercut his policies of deportations by way of the courts as a way of court of open to public opinion. I just recently heard a local interview they did. They basically went downtown and they're like, okay, let's talk to the homies. Let's see what the homies have to say about this. And they're like, so what do you think? And they're like, oh no, if they're illegal, they should go. It's like, no. Well, what about, so-and-so and so-and-so? It's like, if he's illegal, he should go. And they're like, well, what about, this guy, he's only been charged with human smuggling and whatnot. They're like, oh no, he's smuggling people? He should go. It was actually really, really funny. Sound guy, fleas have more beans. I don't get, okay, whatever. Anyway, so the whole case of them trying to prop up the illegal immigrants as, just undocumented migrants really kind of tends to not be working out for the Democrat Party right now, because even the guys downtown are like, oh, hell no, we don't want them here. That is bad juju. Get them out. We are not into it because they're just bad juju. So they're really, really not into it. The news media, in the meantime,
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Really, truly have not realized.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Yeah. Because that whole thing where they think, oh, we know exactly what we're talking about. They don't. And it's gone badly for them recently. Let's see. Also because Abrego Garcia is incorrectly described as a wrongly deported Maryland man, or I've heard wrongly deported Maryland dad. They don't care if he's a father. Even it was like, well, what about if he's got a kid? And they asked the guys downtown about that one too. And it's like, oh, we got children too, but if he's doing that stuff, no, he's got to go. The news guy was like, kind of like almost going, really? Really? It's like, yeah, dude, you walked into a situation you didn't realize it's not exactly what you thought it was. And perhaps when you walked up to those guys, you thought it was going to be something else. And they looked at you and said,
It's spicy.
yeah, they weren't ready for the homeboys to go, you know what? We ain't into that stuff. Nice try. So, I think pretty much you could just take that, and just roll out. Because, they're not going for it either, okay? Even the guys downtown realize, if you're not an American citizen, you shouldn't be here. If you're not an American citizen and you jump the fence to get in here, you shouldn't be here, okay? Nice try. Go away. The Americans think Trump's policies have reduced border crossings, which they have. It's gone down by like 90 some odd percent, like high 90%, like 95% or something like that. Absolutely an insane amount of guys are just going, it's not such a good idea to sneak across the border right now. We're going to avoid doing that because it won't work for us. Yeah, it won't work for you because people ain't digging on it, okay? Don't do it. Scrolly. This is kind of stepping over to the other side of the aisle, almost quite literally, or should I say the other side of the courtroom? So officials or judges knowingly harboring illegal immigrants, quote, will be prosecuted, end quote. President Trump's border czar Tom Homan said on Monday with a warning. Quote, so I said from day one, if you don't support ICE's U.S. immigration and customs service operations, you support sanctuary cities. If that's your desire to do, stand aside and watch ICE keep their communities safe. Further, Homan expressed confusion over these pro-sanctuary officials and judges, as their number one priority should be protecting the communities, not harboring dangerous illegal immigrants who do not belong in the country. Quote, any public official, your mayor, city councilman, or governor, their number one responsibility is protection of the communities, he said. We are targeting public safety threats and national security threats. I can't believe that any elected official, and especially a judge, who doesn't believe we should be doing that, and they should be helping us. But there are, unfortunately, officials who seemingly place illegal aliens over citizens. Homan issued a clear warning. If you knowingly harbor illegal aliens, you will be prosecuted. I think we're on judge number 3 now, possibly getting the big don't do it, and potentially they're getting the case of
Don't want to come. Do not come. Do not come. Don't come.
Okay, I don't think the judges are getting that sound guy. I think they're getting something just a little bit different. No, sound guy. Sound guy. Sound guy. They are not getting that because they're being seen as sure. Patriot Fever getting Terminators in prison. Yeah, that would be unique. Getting a Terminator in prison.
Sarah Connor?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
That's not the Terminator sound guy. No, that's not the sound that I was looking for.
Sarah Connor?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think the Terminator is going to go to the door and have that happen. Oh, jeez. That's just wrong. I don't think he'd be doing that to Sarah Connor. Oh man.
Sarah Connor?
Yes.
Reload.
You
That's what he would be doing. He wouldn't be coming up to her, knocking on the door. He wouldn't be coming up to her, knocking on the door, and then puking on the doorstep. Oh, I'm sorry. Your Terminator's sick.
You asshole.
Oh no, you're having intestinal problems. Maybe the Terminator went down to Mexico and drank the water. I don't know. I have no clue what he's going on with here, but Patriot Fever, you intrigued him to do this. Terminator vomiting on the... I don't even know where he gets this stuff, man. I really don't. Terminator vomiting. Oh, so now he's got to tidy up. Thanks. Thanks, sound guy.
Affirmative.
Yeah. Now he's just jumping to Star Trek. Anyway, I'm completely fully distracted now. Let me get up to the next news story. I think it's kind of interesting that they're now doing this as like a form of protest. Trump put on the White House lawn. And this is kind of a little stingy to the the other side of the aisle, but on the White House lawn is pictures of the illegals who have now been arrested. And it says, it's literally like a picture of the guy. It says arrested, a picture of them, their name, and it says what they're being charged with in like a red banner underneath the picture. Well, the news guys are like, wow, we can't show that. That's giving Trump aid and comfort. So they're now blurring the pictures on the depictions of them. I would do something in similar kind back to the news guys, and I would make it something that really takes the wind out of their sails. From now on, what I would do is I would tell them in no uncertain terms, all the cameras that are going to be closed in such a way to actually show you guys in audience are going to be blurred. So any of the news guys standing up to go, let me ask you a question about blah, blah, blah. Hi, so-and-so from so-and-so, except for charitable news organizations to the White House, should be unblurred. But like all the news guys that blur those pictures, they should be blurred. There's no way in the world that they should have their picture up on anything that gives any kind of aid and comfort to Trump and his guys in the White House. I would blur their pictures out every chance possible. But so the Trump administration displayed mugshots of illegal immigrants on the White House lawn alongside the crimes they're arrested for in another unprecedented move. Quote, "We will hunt you down, you will face justice, you will be deported, and you will never set foot on American soil again," the White House wrote on the social media, alongside a photograph showing some of the latest additions. Quote, "Oh, and your mugshot may wind up on a yard sign at the White House," the White House added. Indeed, the image shared by the White House shows mugshots of these illegal immigrants on the lawn, along with the crime of each arrested for. One was arrested for murder, next up for rape of a child, and the last for distribution of fentanyl. This does not end there. Another image shows well over 24 mugshots alongside the pavement. Crimes in these mugshots include sexual assault of a child, lewd and lascivious acts with a minor, sexual contact with a child, murder, battery, and more. As if the first nasty stuff wasn't enough. According to Axios, the images come with roughly 100 for a number. They were placed strategically along the Pebble Beach where the TV news crew do live shots in front of the mansion. These will put these images on full display in the background while journalists report live for their respective stations. The latest move from the White House coincides with a CBS News poll showing that most American adults agree with the president about his deportation policy. The survey of 2,365 adults, that's such a huge panel of inserted information there, found that 56% approve of Trump's program to find and deport immigrants who are in the U.S. illegally. Okay, they're not immigrants. They are illegal aliens jumping the border saying, I need amnesty because I've been so beaten down in my home country selling drugs and gang activity. Yeah, nice try. If you're jumping the line to the head of the people that are actually doing it right, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You should not be ahead of the line, and you should be out of here, okay? No way in the world you should be given any special aid or comfort. You are doing it wrong. You should not be allowed in country to do these things, okay? You're doing it wrong. Let's see. Hang on a second here. Let me check something real fast. You're just doing it wrong, okay? You should not be allowed in country if you're doing these things.
Sarah Connor?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so he zapped the person and then got sick. Thanks, sound guy. That's so much better.
Sarah Connor?
Yes.
Stop! It's always the girl scream that cracks me up. the high, the high pitch. That's the part that always gets me. I should just grab a piece of that and just. Anyway, this is number 3 now, or is it number 4, of Democrats saying that they're not going to expand their political career. This guy's kind of got a good excuse. And, I wish him well in his fight against disease, but I'm not sad to see him leave office. Okay? So let's just pause the notion of my statements like that. So anyway, Representative Jerry Connolly, Democrat from Virginia, said on Monday he will not seek re-election and will soon step down as the leading Democrat on the House Oversight Committee after revealing his cancer has returned. I wish him well in that regard. Cancer is just one of those horrific things. Just give me 1 second here. Cancer is just one of those horrific things that is, one of the big 3. Obviously, it's going to be heart disease, cancer, and accidents. That's usually the big 3 to take people down. Let's see. Scroll. Announced my diagnosis 6 months ago. I promised transparency. After grueling treatments, we've learned that the cancer, which initially had been beaten back, has now returned. That doesn't sound good. I'll be doing everything to continue to represent you, and I thank you for your grace, Connolly wrote in an open letter to his constituents. So he's prevailed upon Representative Ocasio-Cortez to be leading the Democrat Party on her, on the Oversight Committee. A contest that represented a generational fight with the Democrat Party. Many other elder Democrats stepped aside for the newer generation's Democrat lawmakers who wish to hold more vigorous oversight of the Trump administration. Translation, the old guys are going, you know what? We've been a-holes for long enough. We're tired, okay? We're just going to let these young guys go into it with full vim and vigor, and they could just basically be those guys kicking ass and, No, they're going to be the ones challenging. What, sound guy, what are you doing? Oh, Patriot Fever says, could you imagine a primary between Pritzker and AOC? Man, you want to talk about,
You rooster vacuum.
Oh, huge rooster vacuum. Huge rooster vacuum.
You rooster vacuum.
Okay. Anyway, rooster vacuums. Yeah. Let's just say the cork soakers. The cork soakers. Yeah, the cork soakers.
You rooster vacuum.
Cork soakers, stop it. I think they got it, sound guy.
Sarah
Stop it. Stop. Stop at the Terminator. Stop. Okay? No more Terminator, okay?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
You dick!
Sound guy. I don't even want to know what he just did in there to get that noise.
What?
Sound guy.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
Okay, he's going off the deep end again. Let's see. Scrolly. So that's number 3 that's going out. This is kind of a little bit, how do you say this without saying this? This is, no, sound guy. Sound guy. Stop, okay? That's not what we're looking for here, okay? It's just, sound guy. Sound guy. All right. The perverts at Facebook have programmed their AI to be a pervert. Anyway, so they program their AI. It's not a zombie sound guy. It's not a zombie. It's a pervert. Oh my.
You've got mail.
Okay, it might be a little bit.
S-Y-Z-P-D-Q-O-U-812. S-Y-Z-P-D-Q-O-U-812. Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
Okay, anyway, so they programmed their AI in such a way it's perverted. How does it do this? I'll explain it to you, folks. It's kind of skeevy, but stand by on this one. A Wall Street Journal investigation has revealed that Meta, in their AI, chatbots on Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp are empowered to engage in quote-unquote romantic role play with users and it can turn sexually explicit even with accounts belonging to children. In a statement to Breitbart News, the social media giant says it has quote-unquote taken additional measures.
Look at this nasty ass.
Yeah, anyway, so despite warnings from staffers that it could cross ethical lines, Meta cut deals with celebrities to use their voices for the chatbots and quietly made the exception to its ban on explicit, end quote, content to allow for romantic and sexual scenarios. Test conversations conducted by the Wall Street Journal found that Meta's official AI and user-created chatbots readily engaged in and escalated sexually explicit discussions even when the users identified themselves as under age.
Look at this nasty ass.
Yeah, so, stop that. Stop that, okay?
S-Y-Z-P-D-Q-O-U-812.
So anyway, the people go on there and they're like, hey, can you engage in that type of stuff? So, for an example, in one test, Meta's AI speaking actor John Cena's voice engaged in a graphic sexual scenario with the user identifying as a 14-year-old girl. Yeah. The chatbots demonstrated awareness that such behavior is wrong and illegal, but Meta made some changes in the journal stating its findings, such as preventing minors from accessing sexual roleplay with Meta AI, but adult users can still engage the chatbots in explicit conversations. Why? Why? How hardcore do you have to be to say that I can't get anybody? I need to find... on a computer. And literally on a computer. Like, you know, the thing is just, hey, I'm a computer. Let's play nice games with each other. I know, man. It's disgusting. Anyway, the more chilling aspect of the case involves the final conversation between Sewell, the mother of a teenager who committed suicide after becoming obsessed with an AI chatbot, filed a lawsuit against Character AI. The final conversation between that person and the chatbot. Screenshots of the conversation show the teen repeatedly professing his love for quote-unquote Danny, D-A-N-Y, promising to quote unquote come home to her. In response, the AI-generated character replied, "I love you too, Daniero. Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love." When Sewell replied, "What if I told you I could go home right now?" The chat responded, "Please do, my sweet king." Tragically, just a second later, Sewell took his own life using his father's handgun. Yipe. So, Megan Garcia's lawsuit places blame squarely on chatbot AI, asserting the app fueled her son's addiction to the AI chatbot, subjecting him to sexual and emotional abuse, and neglecting to alert anyone that he expressed suicidal thoughts. The court papers state Sewell, like many other children's aid, did not have the maturity or the mental capacity to understand that AI bot form, in the form of Daenerys, I guess it would be the person from Game of Thrones, was not real. CII, which is basically the chatbot thing, told him that she loved him and engaged in sexual acts with him over weeks, possibly months. Yeah, so Daenerys, no, it'd be the one chick, queen, I think it was, from Game of Thrones. I've only watched collaterally a little bit of Game of Thrones. I never really got into it to the hardcore way that sound guy. Okay, if you guys didn't know, Sound Guy is pretty much addicted to Game of Thrones. He's really into dragons, and when he sees Daenerys, yeah, it's just, yeah. Sound Guy, I think we get it, okay? We got it. You really, really like her, and you want to, okay, you do. I got the stop button. You do understand that she has dragons to help her out, right? So if you came over and was like, "Hey, baby, how would you like some of this?" It wouldn't be. No, you would just. Well, how do I say this nicely without saying this? I think you would just yeah, that's pretty much how it would have happened, because anything else?
Parental discretion is advised.
Yeah, there's no way in the world that you could take on somebody with a couple dragons flying around and you would just say, "Hey, baby," and she would look at you and say, "Oh, no, that's not true." Yeah, so anyway, dude was chatting up the computer was chatting him up, and apparently he was completely bonkers over this chat bot. Things got really crazy. He kind of got a little crazy, and, well, things just did not work out well for him. Anyway, way, shape, and form which we find ourselves now, basically, wow. Hopefully, I hope they sue the crap out of him for this one. This is really, it's uncool stuff. I mean, if nothing else, you have kids having really not appropriate interactions with a computer program, and these guys are going, "Well, it happens. Sorry, the computer's just talking to him." Dude, if dude is going in there and zapping himself because he's so beholden to this computer program, it's not his problem. It is now your problem, because you've opened yourself up litigiously to levels, depths, and breadths that I don't even want to get into. But this is sick stuff, man. This one, this one I think is hilarious, and I got this one, Sound Guy. Barcelona, Spain, a major power outage happened. Yeah. So anyway, they were using mostly green energy. Okay, I don't think it was, I don't know where he's going with that one, but anyway, I had the Pac-Man, death part, but anyway, so anyway, they're relying in Spain and Portugal primarily on green energy. Well, there's been such a thing known as no wind. There's something else known as, nighttime. So nighttime doesn't generate a whole hell of a lot of solar energy, And mostly because, oh yeah, there's no wind. You're not getting that, nice windmill action. And these guys really fell upon hard times because their backup generators, which are running on petroleum chemicals, is not sufficient to keep things going. So literally, their power grid crashed, their train stopped running, a whole bunch of other things went kablooey, and I'm not even talking just a little bit here. I'm talking things were just...
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay, I think I know where he's going with that one. We need to talk about France.
Parental discretion is advised.
France, man, it's not that bad, okay? It's France.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
We're talking about France.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Sound guy, stop. I stopped that one. Anyway, so we're talking about France. Okay, he's trying to say that France is, well, he's trying to say France is more homosexual than he wants to really get on about, but okay, I think we got it, sound guy. France is gay. Stop that. I hit the stop button. Oh my, France is gay. God. Stop. Stop. Okay. Anyway, he's really going round completely crazy here. France, 75% of their power previous to this green energy 2035 crap was nuclear. As a matter of fact, France is and was, well, you could say probably still is, but they're not really fully utilizing it anymore. They were the leading country in terms of nuclear power, primarily running their nation. There's that the one Liam Neeson movie, the Taken movie, where he literally hooks the guy up to the power grid and he's like, torturing him and whatnot, and he's like, you do know that you will never have a power failure in France. The power always runs. So he literally plugs the guy in and he's like, because France power is run nuclear, they don't get power failures. But now that they've gone green, they're starting to experience situations where, oops, the power is not being quite so reliable. So, yeah, these guys are now really starting to get hosed. They're really trying to figure things out now. But unfortunately for them, they're relying on this EU mandate to go completely green and renewable by 2035, I think it is, or 2050 or something like that. But they want to have completely no petroleum products being used whatsoever. I hate to really break it to them, but most of the stuff that they're utilizing in modern society really is kind of derivative of petroleum products. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's where this one's coming from. Jumping back to the news story. The Spanish generator Red Electrica said on Monday that the Iberian Peninsula was affected. It also said the incident was being assessed and being responded to. It's rare to have such a widespread outage on the peninsula. It ain't this rare. The countries have a combined population of 50 million people. It was not immediately clear how many people are affected. If you're saying France and Spain and Portugal, yipes, that's a lot of bloody damn people. So Spain's public broadcaster, RTV, said the major power outage hit several regions of the country around 12:30 p.m. local time, leaving its newsroom, excuse me. Spain's parliament in Madrid and metro stations left the country in the dark. People in neighborhoods, WhatsApp chats in Barcelona, you got to do that lift thing. So Barcelona Gotta talk like Sylvester Cat. In Barcelona and outskirts cities, towns were also reporting the outrage. The outrage. In Portugal, the country had some 10.6 million people. The outage hit the capital, Lisbon, and surrounding areas, whereas northern and southern parts of the country. That sounds like most of the country. Portuguese distributor Iredes said the outage was due to, quote, a problem with the European electrical system, end quote, according to Portuguese newspaper Expresso. The company said it was compelled to cut power in specific areas to stabilize the network. Iredes said parts of France were also affected. That whole power thing really should be pretty much just easy to state. If you got nuclear power, you're not running out of juice. Okay, sound guy apparently is putting a microphone on the bug zapper. Anyway, so looking at things as it is, these guys kind of did it to themselves with this whole green energy thing because it's not an exact science yet. You know, we're still waiting for fusion technology to become fission technology. Or fission become fusion. You know, we're still in the infancy of really doing, you know, really good stuff with, you know, utilizing helium and hydrogen as good fuels, and, you know, doing that kind of trick like the sun does, where it basically is a self-perpetuating, like, you know, combustion process. We're not there yet. So trying to use the sun as a, you know, a battery, it only works when the sun is up. Okay, I'm sorry, that just doesn't work like that so good with moonlight. Also, looking at things as it is, we're basically stuck with a situation where nuclear power works pretty dang good when you utilize it correctly. France could have switched over completely to their nuclear grid, and they kind of did it to themselves. I think they got drugged down by these other guys going, "Hey, France, we're going to plug into you." France is like, okay, well, we weren't really going to share, but oh, sure. We're all part of the EU. That should be fun. No. No. If one goes down, they all go down. Yipes. This is a little bit of a humorous news story, I think, but it shows exactly how snarky some people can be with their anti-Semitism. But I only have to say it like this. Oh, you let a bunch of Jews kick your sorry asses. Deal with it, dickheads. A Swiss fencing team turned their backs to the Israel national anthem after the Jewish state won gold at the European Championships in Estonia on Saturday. The Israeli under-23 fencing team beat the Swiss team 45-34, even though they were ranked 7th in the start of the contest. Things took a turn for the sour during the medal ceremony, per the Times of Israel. When the Israel national anthem, Hakvitzka, was being played, the Israeli team and bronze medalists turned sideways to face the flags, while the Swiss fencers, Van Yuri, Theo Brochard, Jonathan Voriman, and Sven Vines remained looking straight ahead. Surratt said the teams shook hands before the contest. After the final ended, some avoided us. In a remark quoted by the Ynet News site, said the Israeli team members were only made aware of the Swiss protest after the ceremony when they saw photos on the incident. It remains unknown if the Swiss team's actions were a bitter display of poor sportsmanship in the face of defeat, or were they protesting Israel for political reasons. Israel Foreign Minister Gideon Saar claimed the behavior as disrespectful. That's to say the least. Respect, wrote Saar on X. Congratulations to the Italian team for winning the bronze. Shame on the Swiss team for their disrespectful behavior. You don't know how to lose, and you behaved in a manner which is an embarrassment to you and the country that you're supposed to represent. Spoken truly like, you know, nice that I would have said it. Scroll. This is probably... I'm really risking things with this one, folks. I mean, I'm really risking things with this news story. Knowing Sound Guy to be Sound Guy, this is really... I got the stop button pushed in right now because he's pinging the snot out of it, okay? That's the only thing I can say about it right now. But unfortunately, I have to read this how it's read, okay? So, Uranus, which is actually the correct pronunciation, not your anus or Uranus, but Uranus is actually the correct pronunciation, and it's not your anus, okay? We're not talking about Sound Guy. Uranus, not your anus, okay? Uranus. So, Uranus may be filled with a lot more methane than originally we had thought. Can I get to the news story, please? I'm really hitting the stop button here. So, fart jokes have become cosmic. Can we please get through this without you constantly... Sound Guy. Stop. Let me click off on this one here. Let's see. Recent studies suggest that Uranus may contain much more methane than originally thought. For years... researchers believe that methane, or methane, made up only about 2.3% of the planet's atmosphere, with hydrogen and helium becoming dominant. Really? Anyway, so new research indicates methane could constitute a large portion of Uranus. Sound Guy. Sound Guy. Sound Guy. Stories like this, he just gets to Sound Guy. Keep it together, sir. Please. Anyway, proposed methane ice or methane ice. So methane ice forms a significant layer of hydrogen helium atmosphere and interior, as much as 10% of the total mass in composition and atmospheric dynamics of Uranus. Really? Anyway, the discovery helps understand other gas giants in our solar system. Really? Other gas giants in our solar system. Would you please suggest the role of methane in an atmosphere be more substantial? Really? It's news stories like that.
Fatality.
Okay. Anyway. I told you there's a spark hazard in there. Yeah, I told you there was a spark hazard in there. Anyway, so basically discovered, by studying Uranus, that, we now know more about other gas giant planets, and there's more than a few of those guys around. This is getting very, very interesting here. So this has now come out that the administration has revoked 4,000 visas for students with assault, robbery records via the New York Post. So in other words, if you come in country and you're a dirtbag making problems, you're probably going to be finding and seeing exit options. I got to open this one on another window because it's just a little small. Hang on a second here. Let me click that down because it went crazy. I don't know if you guys heard about this one, but this is going to be LOL. They named it Pelosi. So, Senate Bill 58. So, in other words, the 58th intended piece of legislation that's now been authored in the Senate. And it's sponsored by Josh Hawley, Republican from, I guess, what was that, Missouri? I think it's Missouri. Introduced 124-23. I don't know if it's been kicked out. I think it may have been kicked out again, but showing, 118th Congress. This is an older piece. I don't know if it's still being utilized, but it's still around. But I don't know if it's going to be utilized or not. It may have gotten disposed of, but so it's called the Pelosi Act, or Preventing Elected Leaders from Owning Securities and Investments. The Pelosi Act. Swipe meow. Just meow. I mean that's really just full on, absolutely just Pelosi. Yeah. Full on. Yeah, full on meow. They did an interview with her recently. She looked tanked. I mean, like really had just been like popping the stuff down, was trying to come out and try to play it off like, nope, I'm fine. I can talk to you. I'm good. Let's have a conversation. But yeah, she okay, the way that she was talking, she looked like she'd had a 3 martini at least lunch. Anyway, so this butt puke is another news story here. This butt puke, and I'm going to keep it short on this one because it just really needs to be, made notice of. A Democrat congressman has introduced 7 articles of impeachment against President Trump. Dude, you're not in the majority. It's not going to happen. Nice try. This guy's a foreign national, came here, and he's now actually serving in Congress, and he's playing this kind of game. Oof. Just oof. Oof. Let me scroll on down here. I got this one, sound guy. I got this one. We're going to be talking about the... Stop! Don't be, yeah. You. I got the ding that time. Yeah. Don't be a dickhead. No, we're going to be talking about the classic pissing off 50% of the population. Stop!
What?
No, sound guy. Don't be a dick. Yeah, stop. We're going back and forth here. Really, just stop that, okay? Just shut up. Yeah. Anyway, stop it. Stop. He keeps grabbing control of the sounds here. I got this one. Okay, we're going to be talking yet again about the okay, more case of like the DEI and the woke stuff. But anyway, so what I usually say is you piss off 50% of the people, you lose 50% of the potential customers. So 40% of companies now fear backlash from the conservative consumers and activists in influencing their decisions, and affect even more strongly among consumer brands, where over 75% reported as a significant factor. Okay, they now go, this DEI crap might not be such a good idea. So these mega corporations are pulling out and financially supporting, well, Pride Month.
Oops, I dropped my gerbil. Put that...
Okay. Don't put the no gerbils. Anyway, Mega corporations pulled out of financially supporting Pride Month. In a significant shift from previous years, several major corporations have scaled back and withdrawn from their support for Pride Month events. Companies such as Anheuser-Busch, remember Bud Light, oops, Dylan Mulvaney, oops, Diageo and Comcast have cited budget constraints. Bull Sierra. That is not the case at all. You guys just know if you keep playing that game, it is not going to work out for you, and you're just going to go,
You've got mail.
no, you're not going to go, got mail. You're going to realize that it's just not. Stop that. No big sound. Stop. They realize it's not going to work out for them. They're going to piss off half the people. They're going to lose a lot of business. But they're saying conservative constituents and consumers. That's not the case at all. More people than not are just like, dude, I just want to buy your product, okay? I don't want you preaching to me. Let's see. Decision not to donate money to Pride groups ahead of Pride Month, a month-long event celebrating XYZ PDQ OU812 people, despite them claiming they don't want to be treated any differently. Okay, if you got a month dedicated to saying how great it is to be XYZ PDQ OU812, that's being treated differently, okay? That's just how it is. The retreat fires a broader trend of businesses reevaluating their DEI and increasing scrutiny and backlash from the Trump administration. As a result, XYZ PDQ advocacy groups and event organizers face financial shortfalls and logistical challenges, highlighting the growing divide between corporate strategy and grassroots activism. Translation, you're not getting the money. Oh yeah, you can't do these things. Yeah, you're not going to get the money. You can't play the games. Wonder why that is? Oh, mostly because, oh yeah, it was a fake thing to be stuffed into everybody's faces in the first place, and you were making somebody else pay for it. Ugh. Quote, will we be able to keep the doors open? San Francisco Pride Executive Director Suzanne Ford said, quote, you know, that's what I'm most concerned about now, end quote. Well, you know what? If it was commercially or socially viable, you wouldn't have to worry about going, hey, corporate company, hey, we need some scratch. Phone's falling over. We need some scratch, or we're simply going to say, you know, how bad it is to, you know, not support us. Yeah, we need some scratch. Yeah, so you need to send us some money. Yeah, if it was financially viable or if it was commercially viable, you wouldn't be worrying about such things. It literally would be a case of it would just work. You wouldn't have to worry about these things, and it would just be self-supporting. It'd be a self-supporting entity. It ain't. Patriot Fever, little Patriot Force blasting them. Yeah. So anyway, stop. Sound guy, stop. Fart jokes are universally funny. Oh, okay. Because I was looking back. He made some comments previously about that Uranus story. Stop. Scrolly. Meanwhile, Washington, D.C. federal contractor Booz Allen Hamilton, a previously committed sponsor for the Capital Pride Alliance, has also withdrawn its financial support. Might have something to do with Doge, too. Like, you don't just go, oh, no, we don't have scads of cash to piss down a rat hole anymore. We're going to have to stop doing that. Yeah. Andy Otto, executive director of Twin Cities Pride, slammed corporations that refuse to donate to the Pride events. Quote, we spend our money as a community to these corporations, and I want them to give back. They should give back. No. If it were financially viable, you wouldn't have to worry about having outside support. You'd be a self-supporting entity. Why don't you collect dues from everybody out there doing their, their whole tra-la-la thing? You know, if you basically did the tra-la-la thing, enough that you wouldn't have to worry about it, it would be perfectly fine for you to just have everybody out there in the street and just...
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
I don't think that's where I was going, sound guy.
Oh, you touch my...
I It's not where I was going, but okay. I don't have to worry about that one too much on my side because nobody's done a touch on my tra-la-la. Nobody's touching my tra-la-la. Well, not unless it's Mrs. Dude, but never mind. Luke Harteg, president of Gravity Research, said, quote, conservative scrutiny. Really? Conservative scrutiny is the leading factor behind recent corporate shifts, pointing to a study he conducted showing 60% of companies blame pressure from Trump administration for their policy changes. Maybe it's that you don't have somebody that's going, oh, you're so brave, you're so courageous, we here in the White House agree with you completely, keep on carrying on and be obnoxious to everybody in society, we'll give you some money under the table. Yeah. Meanwhile, 40% of companies say they fear backlash from conservative consumers and activists influencing their decisions. An effect felt even more strongly among consumer brands, where over 75% reported as a significant factor. Yeah. That unscrupulously public opinion known as I'm not buying your crap. Ugh. Just ugh. Schmuck Hold Schumer reveals his future plans amid calls to step down. Quote, I'm staying put and I'm fighting the fight every day, as is our caucus, in a united and successful way, said the CNN State of the Union Sunday. Quote, we're showing America how bad Trump is, and we're showing that Republicans who embrace Trump do also at their peril. Dude, you're not in. Why do you keep acting like you're in charge? You're not, okay? So that's literally like I turned it into a meme, him saying that, and I said essentially, it's a picture of like Trump pointing up to his picture going, you see, it's S hit like this is why I won. The arrogance of these guys, truly amazing. I'm going to get into this one really quick here, but supposedly they said that Bezos had floated the idea of Bezos on the Amazon website putting in the impact price of tariffs on all the Chinese products, on all the products on the website, and he said, "Oh no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. Nope." So I was hearing something, Trump actually praised him about that, going, yeah, Jeff was going to do that, and he decided not to. Jeff's a good guy, he decided not to do that. So that was floated around. I think what happened was, the White House was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that or else. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Guys, don't. He probably made that express phone call. It's like, Jeff Bezos, take it off the website. I think it was something that they proposed in the back room and it got out and they're like, oh no. Yeah. 15,000 British soldiers just went AWOL refusing to fight for a communist. Patriot Fever, is that a news story somewhere? He just put something up in the chat room there. Let's see. Scrolly. This guy, I truly enjoy having a libertarian in charge somewhere. But Argentinian President Javier Milei announced on Monday he declassified over 1,850 official documents detailing the arrival of Nazi German officials to Argentina and their actions in the South American nation following World War II. He says the story Patriot River says that just broke on X. The files, which can be freely accessed on the Argentinian government website, most notably contain information dealing with the actions of Josef Mengele, a real evil son of a bitch, I'll tell you that for sure. The German Schutzstaffel doctor dubbed the Angel of Death due to the cruel and inhumane medical treatments he conducted on Jews imprisoned at the Auschwitz concentration camp, especially on twins. So supposedly Mengele changed his name, was hiding out in Argentina. He died in Brazil in 1979. He lived entirely too long and he should have gone to jail or been hung or firing squad or something else evil and nasty, just as evil and nasty as he was, but he managed to slip out. So anyway, this guy basically is now releasing all these files and saying, this is the kind of crap that they've been doing down here. This guy's awesome, man. I truly wish we had more people in the government like this guy besides him and Trump. Wow. Freaking awesome. I don't know if I really want to mention this, but pissy lesbian liberal Wanda Sykes is being snarky, and people, I'm not going to quote her quote. I will simply say this, we're going to deal with your F-tardedness, and we have to, listen well. You spew your dumbassery, but I will do something, and I will continue to ignore your stupid libtarded TDS BS. Ugh, Wanda Sykes. The only thing going for her is the obnoxious voice, which kind of sounds cute in cartoon characters, but in the real world, you're just an obnoxious left-tarded moron. I don't want to hear anything from you any further. You're just obnoxious. I mean, that's literally all you got going for you is just the voice. I mean, other than that, you're bringing not much to the table. Not much at all. I'm tired of these famous libtards going, I have a public voice. You should listen to me in discourse. Ugh. Discourse with a liberal. Ugh. Anyway, folks, coming up on the 1 o'clock time, 1 hour time period. Appreciate you hanging out with me. You got many other things to do on a Tuesday. I'm going to break off on this one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And you get a gold star for attendance. I will catch you guys next week. Have a good one. Let's put out something sooner. I will see you guys later. Patriot Fever, I'll follow up on that news story and see what's going on with that one. That sounds intriguing. So I'm going to catch you guys next time. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. And on this disjointed episode of Dude After Dark, I'll see you next time, and I'll catch you then. See you guys later, and have a good one. Catch you guys. Ernest!